Route 66 just turned 100, and I drove every mile of it. 2,400 miles, 8 states, over 100 stops in only 9 unforgettable days. From the sunny shores of Santa Monica, straight to the streets of Chicago. I'll be traveling mainly on the original historic Route 66 alignment. So join me. We're going to see every epic attraction and hidden gem along the way. Here is a map of Route 66. Route 66 in California covers about 315 miles, and it begins or ends at the Santa Monica Pier. Route 66 was expanded to Santa Monica in 1936. It used to end in downtown Los Angeles. The pier was built in 1909 as the first concrete pier on the West Coast. It's now a National Historic Landmark. I found parking here was easy on a Saturday morning. The place is very family-friendly and the weather was amazing. Not far from the pier was a nice walking trail with a visitor center. If I made any errors or there's any updates to this video, I'll put it in the description below. The entire first day of driving Route 66 will be in a metro area with lots of traffic as we make our way from LA to San Bernardino. Take the Santa Monica Boulevard to stay on Route 66, and now we're going to head to Beverly Hills. I wanted to check out Rodeo Drive, and it was exactly as I expected. However, I did not see any celebrities. At the intersection of Route 66 and Rodeo Drive was this really nice park with a Beverly Hills sign. I also cruised around the neighborhood checking out some really cool homes. Route 66 does pass through Hollywood, but most of the action is about a half-mile north on Hollywood Boulevard. I wanted to check out the Walk of Fame and see some of the famous buildings. Traffic was surprisingly light on a Saturday morning. And once again, I didn't see anybody famous. Does anybody see any famous people here? It took me 2 hours to really take Hollywood in. After taking Sunset Boulevard to about Dodger Stadium, the old Route 66 takes you on one of the oldest freeways to Pasadena. It is a really pretty drive. Pasadena is just amazing, so clean and so pretty. Route 66 is on Colorado Boulevard and it's full of vintage buildings. My favorite was checking out all the signs from the Route 66 heydays. From here, there's not a lot of Route 66 stops, just endless traffic lights. One of the places I wanted to see was the Aztec Hotel. It was built in 1924-25. It's one of the earliest and best surviving examples of Mayan Revival architecture in the United States. It was a glamorous stop for travelers and Hollywood stars when Route 66 passed right by it. Further east on Foothill Boulevard is Rancho Cucamonga. I hope I said that right. The Cucamonga service station, built in 1915 as a fueling stop, is a bright yellow, Richfield-style station and was restored to its 1930s appearance. It now serves as a Route 66 museum with local history, artifacts, and is a city landmark. Parking here was hard, but I did find a spot across the street. Next is a really popular spot on Route 66, the Wigwam Motel, a classic Route 66 icon. It's in San Bernardino, California. It's one of only 3 surviving wigwam villages in the US. 2 of them are on Route 66. This one was built in 1949. If you want to stay here, book ahead. It's really popular with Route 66 enthusiasts. Also in San Bernardino is the original McDonald's site and museum. This is the exact site where they built the first restaurant in 1940. The original building is gone, but the site was purchased and turned into this unofficial museum packed with nostalgia. It was closed while I was here, and this location does not serve food. The first video I ever made was in LA in 1980 on a family vacation.
This is the Atro family in Los Angeles, California. There's their boat over there.
Yes, that is really me. That was a fun trip. Now we are heading to the rural parts of Route 66. When you leave San Bernardino, take the Cajon Boulevard to stay on Route 66. On this route, you're going to pass the San Andreas Fault, and the old highway runs parallel to I-10. Eventually, we're going to have to get onto I-10 briefly to get to our next stop. The Camp Cajon Monument. It's located near McDonald's at exit 131. It honors a historic early auto campground and rest stop on the National Old Trails Road, which became Route 66 in 1926. This spot was not just popular for Route 66 travelers, it was also part of the Mormon Trail, National Old Trails, and other trails in Southern California since the late 1700s. But activity in this area goes back to over 1,000 years. This area is called the Cajon Pass. It's also very popular with railroad enthusiasts. About 90 trains pass the area every day. A short distance away from Camp Cajon is the Mormon Rocks, and it offers great views of the trains. However, the roads around here are not great. Next is the California Route 66 Museum in Victorville. It was closed while I was here. It's housed in a former Red Rooster Cafe building. This interactive museum features a 4,500 square foot of memorabilia, photos, signs, and a 1950s den replica. Admission is free, but donations are welcome. Stay on Route 66 to visit our next stop just outside of Victorville. It's called Emma Jean's Holland Burger Cafe. It's also an official Route 66 attraction. It's a small, no-frills roadside diner with nostalgic 1950s feel. Booths, counter seating, classic signage, and a welcoming truck local atmosphere. The original Route 66 alignment from Victorville to Barstow is amazing, and I highly recommend taking this part of Route 66. One of the stops is the town of Oro Grande. The area feels authentically old-school Route 66, a mix of desert decay, living history, and creative roadside art. Most of the buildings here are abandoned or not in use anymore. A short distance away is one of the quirkiest attractions, Elmer's Bottle Tree Ranch. It was created in the year 2000 by Elmer Long. There's about 200 bottle trees scattered across 2 acres, plus sculptures made from salvaged desert finds, old wheels, tools, signs, bomb casings, and more. It's generally open all day. The gates may be closed for maintenance sometimes. It's free to access, but donations are welcome. Our next stop is Barstow, a small city with all the services. Along Route 66 in downtown, there are some relics from the past and a lot of murals. It also has the Route 66 Mother Road Museum, which happened to be closed on the day I stopped by. It features Route 66 memorabilia and more. It's small but fun and free, but donations are accepted. There is also a train museum in the parking lot you can check out. And right next door, there is a Harvey House, the Grand 1911 Fred Harvey Hotel, and Santa Fe Railroad Depot. It's one of the most impressive surviving Harvey houses. Once you leave Barstow, take the interstate until you see the signs for Route 66 on the feeder roads. We are now going to head to Newberry Springs to see our next attraction. It's called the Baghdad Cafe and is a legendary Route 66 roadside icon. It was built in the 1950s, and it used to be in Baghdad, California, but was moved here at some point. And it appears they added a new feature. These are now lounges that you can go inside. They're right in the parking lot. The exterior and the settings were used as the main location for the 1987 cult classic German film, Baghdad Cafe. And the cafe still serves food and Route 66 merchandise. From here, you can just stay on Route 66 until it makes you get back on the interstate all the way to Ludlow, California, where you can exit again to head towards Amboy. Ludlow is mostly a ghost town with lots of abandoned buildings to check out. We are now going to be entering some of the loneliest parts of Route 66. Gas stations are rare and the heat can be oppressive, so make sure you have gas and water. Our next stop is probably the single most popular Route 66 attraction, Roy's Motel and Cafe in Amboy. This 1938 style landmark features the massive icon neon Roy's sign. Some of the buildings in town appear abandoned, but there are plans to restore some of these. The cafe offers gas with vintage pumps, a gift shop with Route 66 souvenirs, cold drinks, snacks, and some merchandise. And don't forget to check out the hippie car across the street. There is also a crater nearby, but if it's too hot, I would not try to hike this. Have you ever been to Amboy? If you haven't, I would recommend you go. Shortly after Amboy, Route 66 is closed and you'll have to head north and take a 30-minute detour to Fenner, California, where you can exit and head towards Joff, California. Goffs, California is our next destination. I am told there are rattlesnakes in this area. I have never seen one. If there's anybody familiar with this area, can you confirm that there's a lot of rattlesnakes? Goffs, California is a semi-ghost town on the original alignment of Route 66 in the Mojave Desert. The 1914 Mission Revival one-room schoolhouse is the main attraction. When it's open, there's a 75-plus acre grounds with mining equipment and vintage vehicles and a lot more. Between Barstow and our next stop, Needles, services are rare, but the scenery is amazing. Needles, California sits on the Arizona border, and Route 66 goes right through the heart of town with clearly marked signs. Downtown has murals and is home to the El Garces Hotel and Santa Fe Depot. It's a grand 1908 Spanish colonial revival depot and hotel, and it recently underwent renovations. The Needles Regional Museum is a small but engaging local history museum with Route 66 artifacts. And for railroad enthusiasts, there is a small park called Santa Fe Park. My favorite stop was on the way out of town and seeing this old Route 66 motel sign. The motel is no longer in operation. What is your favorite California Route 66 stop? What locations did I miss? Please leave it in the comment section. Now we're going to head into Arizona. Arizona features the longest preserved stretch of historic Route 66 in the U.S., with about 385 miles. Once you cross the bridge to get into Arizona, you take the first exit towards Oatman. The highway from here to Kingman is one of my favorite parts of the trip. Oatman, Arizona is a vibrant living ghost town on Route 66, famous for its wild barrows, Old West atmosphere, and mining history. It's one of the most popular and photogenic stops on Arizona's stretch of the Mother Road. The star attraction is the free-roaming donkeys that wander the street, interact with visitors, and occasionally block traffic. On Main Street, there are wooden sidewalks, gift shops, saloons, and historic buildings. You can buy all your Route 66 souvenirs here. Next is the Sightsgreaves Pass, a dramatic mountain pass on the historic Oatman Highway and Route 66. It's one of the most scenic and thrilling stretches of the Mother Road. It's a narrow two-lane pavement with hairpin switchbacks and steep grades. There's a lot of sharp turns here, 191 in all. This is one part of the road where you're going to have to be very careful. There are some vehicle restrictions. Anything longer than 40 feet are not recommended. And of course, during the busy season, there's going to be a lot of inexperienced drivers driving on it. Cool Spring Station is a beautifully restored historic gas station and gift shop. It was built in the mid-1920s. Cool Springs originally offered gas, foods, cabins, and a welcome break for travelers. It thrived during Route 66 heyday. The station burnt down in 1966 and it sat in ruins for decades. But it reopened 20 years ago. When you're buying Route 66 souvenirs, it is highly recommended you buy them from places like this. Support the visitor centers, museums, or any place that supports Route 66 history. This support is very helpful. Kingman, Arizona is known as the heart of Route 66 and serves as a major hub on Arizona's longest stretch of the Mother Road. The Arizona Route 66 Museum and Visitor Center is here. It's housed in a 1907 historic power plant. Across the street is Locomotive Park. It features a massive 1928 Santa Fe steam engine. There's also some self-guided walking tours in downtown. There's historic buildings, neon signs, shops, and more. And at night, you can check out the neon signs as they're usually on in the evening. Antares, Arizona is a tiny, quirky community along Route 66 northeast of Kingman. It's fun and a photogenic stop, famous for its giant roadside sculptures and desert scenery. Hackberry General Store is a beloved quirky icon on Route 66. It was built in 1934 as a gas station and store. It served travelers until it was bypassed by the interstate in 1978. Just up the highway is Valentine, Arizona. It's a tiny near ghost town. There's a pair of restored gas stations, one of which appears to be open during tourist season. And it has lots of cars and buildings on site. I really want to come here when it's open. The original alignment of Route 66 winds through the beautiful Crozier Canyon. Seligman, Arizona is widely known as the birthplace of historic Route 66, the town where the modern revival of the Mother Road began in the late 1980s. It's a vibrant, quirky stop on Arizona's longest stretch of preserved Route 66, full of colorful murals, neon signs, vintage cars, and classic Americana. On Main Street, there's a whole bunch of colorful shops and murals. This is probably the busiest town I visited anywhere on Route 66 in April. And when you're visiting some of the small towns like this, please do monitor traffic for speeders, so pay close attention.
I'm coming out. Maybe we'll take a $2.
Williams, Arizona is a charming, well-preserved Route 66 town known as the Gateway to the Grand Canyon. And it was the last town on Route 66 that was bypassed by Interstate 40 in 1984. Its downtown stretch of Route 66 remains vibrant with neon signs, vintage motels, diners, and classic cars. One of the best preserved sections anywhere on Route 66. If you are traveling on Route 66, you're really going to enjoy Arizona, and I hope you have a great trip. The town also has train service to the Grand Canyon and an amazing visitor center. Now let's head to Flagstaff. Flagstaff is a vibrant mountain town, about 7,000 feet elevation, the highest point on the entire Route 66. The Flagstaff Visitor Center is housed in a historic Santa Fe train depot. Here's where you can pick up maps, information, and souvenirs. The historic downtown is a walkable area with murals, gift shops, neon signs, and more. Flagstaff is one of my favorite cities in the entire country. Twin Arrows is a mostly abandoned spot. It's famous for its iconic giant arrow and now derelict trading post, offering a classic example of a bypassed Route 66 roadside attraction. It originally opened in the late 1940s. However, after the interstate bypassed it, it closed in the late 1990s. Two Guns is one of the most haunting and fascinating ghost towns on Route 66. In the 1920s, an entrepreneur developed it into a major Route 66 attraction. He also built a zoo with mountain lions, snakes, and other animals. There was also a trading post, gas station, and campground, all of which are abandoned now. The stone ruins of the old zoo, trading post, and gas station and other buildings are heavily covered in graffiti but still photogenic. It's easy to explore the zoo, but it does cover a few acres of land. There is a story about the Apache Death Cave, site of an 1870s battle where Apache warriors were reportedly trapped and killed in a cave. However, most historians feel this did not actually happen. There is also an old Route 66 concrete arch bridge over Canyon Diablo. Winslow, Arizona is the town that's famously immortalized by the Eagles' 1972 hit, Take It Easy. Standing on the corner park is an iconic photo spot with life-size bronze statue of a man with a guitar, a red flatbed Ford truck, murals, and a Route 66 shield. The tiny church of the Mother Road, also called the world's smallest church, is a delightful little attraction, and you can learn more about local history here. The rest of downtown is full of murals, vintage buildings, shops, and more. I'm sure there's a few places in Arizona that I missed. What are some of your favorite places or places I should come back and check out? Next up is Holbrook, Arizona. My first stop was at the historic downtown and Navajo County Historical Museum. It's housed in the 1898 courthouse. And the Bucket of Blood Street is a short but legendary historic street in downtown Holbrook, just 1 block south of the old Santa Fe train tracks. This town was named because of its reputation in the 1880s, where supposedly there was a big gunfight and a whole bunch of men were killed. That's how the street got its name. Wigwam Village Motel is a standout icon, built in 1950 and listed on the National Register of Historic Places. It features 15 concrete and steel teepee rooms. And each unit has some vintage furniture and classic cars parked outside. Now we're going to head to Lupton, Arizona. It's a small community right on the border with Arizona and New Mexico. It's known for its cluster of Native American trading posts that have served travelers for decades. It's a great spot to get out of your car, stretch your legs, and take some photos. And of course, browse some authentic Native American goods. It's a really, really pretty spot. Now we're going to head to New Mexico. Gallup, New Mexico holds the title of America's most patriotic small town. Historic downtown on Cole Avenue and Route 66 feature restored sandstone buildings, murals, neon signs, trading posts, and pawn shops. And don't miss the Gallup Cultural Center. It's in the old train depot. El Rancho Hotel was built in 1937. This historic hotel hosted Hollywood stars like John Wayne, Katharine Hepburn, and more. Our next stop is Grant's. They have a new neon sign drive-thru. It also has many vintage buildings and murals along Santa Fe Avenue. The town boomed with the railroad in the 1880s. Now it thrives on tourism and Route 66. The town is called the Gateway to Lava Land due to its volcanic landscapes. There are a handful of museums, but I somehow missed one called Route 66 Vintage Museum. I will visit on the next trip. Next is McCarty's Village, a quiet semi-ghost town. I wanted to see the amazing Santa Maria Mission. It's a beautiful stone church built in 1933 on a hillside. It features classic adobe and stone architecture with scenic views. Nearby is the ruins of the Whitting Brothers gas station. It's a classic Route 66 relic located between the tiny communities of San Fidel and McCarty's. Whitting Brothers was a major Southwest gas station and motel chain founded in 1926. This particular complex was built in the 1940s. Budville, New Mexico is best known for the Budville Trading Post. It served as the main hub between Albuquerque and Gallup. It had a gas station, trading post, cafe, motel cabins, towing service, and more. I heard there were plans to restore it, but it hasn't happened yet. Dead Man's Curve is located near Mesita, New Mexico. It is one of the most famous and dramatic stretches of original Route 66 alignment in New Mexico. It earned its reputation due to its blind turns, narrow width, especially in the unpaved days. And it had a history of accidents before modern improvements. You're also going to pass Owl Rock here. Rio Parroco Bridge is a standout historic landmark on the post-1937 alignment of Route 66. It's about 20 miles west of downtown Albuquerque and is visible from the interstate. It was built in 1933, and a more modern bridge replaced it in 1999. Now we're going to visit the brand new Route 66 Visitor Center on the edge of Albuquerque. It opened in April of 2026. It also appears they have restored a bunch of these glorious old neon signs. Albuquerque boasts the longest continuous urban stretch of the Mother Road in the U.S., about 18 miles long on Central Avenue. My favorite spot was Old Town Albuquerque, a historic heart with adobe buildings, shops, galleries, and the San Felipe de Nero Church. It's great for dining and strolling. '66 Diner in Albuquerque is a beloved 1950s-style retro diner right on Route 66. The building was originally a Phillips 66 gas station before being converted into a diner in 1987. Nob Hill is one of the most vibrant and photogenic stretches of Route 66. It's an eclectic, walkable neighborhood. It blends 1930s to 1950s Route 66 architecture with trendy shops, restaurants, galleries, and nightlife. When you leave Albuquerque, you're going to be passing through a really pretty mountain range. Midway Trading Post is a classic abandoned Route 66 relic located near Edgewood. You can't miss it. It's right off Route 66. It was built in the mid 1940s. It was a full-service travel stop, including a gas station and trading post. Route 66 from Albuquerque to Moriarty offers 57 miles of mostly uninterrupted Route 66. One of the last surviving Whitting Brothers stations on Route 66 is here. It no longer sells gas, but does offer tire service. I wanted to check out the Lewis Antique Auto and Toy Museum. It's an excellent collection of vintage cars, but it was closed. Our next stop is Santa Rosa. This city has a historic downtown, and there's vintage motels and signs all around town. My favorite spot was the Route 66 Auto Museum. It's got classic cars, neon signs, and Route 66 memorabilia. The top attraction is the Blue Hole. It's a stunning natural sinkhole about 80 feet deep, and it has crystal clear turquoise water. The temperature stays at about 62 degrees Fahrenheit year round. Once you leave Santa Rosa, most of the towns now are ghost towns, like Saruvo and Newkirk, and a few other abandoned stops. Eventually, we'll arrive at one of the more popular stops on Route 66, Tucumcari, New Mexico. Route 66 passed right through the heart of town, but when the interstate bypassed the city, most of the businesses suffered. However, the city has done a great job keeping the Route 66 spirit alive, And all up and down the main route are murals, restored motels, gas stations, and many other buildings that do sit in a decayed state. Every time I'm on Route 66, I end up staying a night in Tucumcari. It's such an exciting place to explore. Downtown has a bunch more vintage buildings, and it's where you can find the Railroad Museum. The Blue Swallow Motel is the more popular attraction in the city, and you can still book rooms here. The neon sign is always lit up in the evening, as well as some other neon signs in town. From Tucumcari, Route 66 is mostly on the feeder road all the way to San Juan. Most of the main street is abandoned here now. After San Juan, most of Route 66 is now on a gravel road, so it's best to get back on the interstate as we head towards Texas. Texas has about 178 miles of Route 66 through the Texas Panhandle. Our first stop is Glen Rio, but the town straddles the Texas and New Mexico border. The town became a ghost town when the interstate bypassed it in the 70s. There is an abandoned gas station and restaurant, which also had a motel at one point, that you can walk around and explore. The town also features an abandoned 1950 Texaco station and a diner in Art Modern style. From here, most of Route 66 through Texas is on the interstate or the feeder roads. There is signage all across the state to guide you. Now we're going to head to Adrian. The town is the official halfway point on historic Route 66, exactly 1,139 miles from Chicago and 1,139 miles to Santa Monica, California. The main attraction is the Midpoint Cafe, an iconic diner originally built in 1928. There's also the Bent Door gas station, a quirky landmark that features a distinctive angled bent door and windows salvaged from a World War II control tower. It operated as a 24-hour Phillips 66 station and diner. A little further east is Vega, Texas. This is one of my favorite towns on Route 66. The original alignment of Route 66 goes right through the middle of town. One of the standout Route 66 landmarks is the historic 1920s Magnolia gas station. It's been restored with help from the National Park Service grant. It features a classic gravity-fed pump, and it now serves as an interpretive stop for visitors. If you show up here and it's closed, someone in the visitor center across the street may be able to get you access inside on most days. Vega has an authentic small town Texas vibe to it, and it has a couple museums, shops, and quirky attractions. One of my favorite spots on all of Route 66 is one of the most unique museums you'll ever find called Dot's Mini Museum. Expect a charming mix of Route 66 memorabilia, postcards, and signage. There's also cowboy hats, boots, saddles, and Western artifacts. Hours are unpredictable and often limited because it is mostly unattended. Vega is a town you must stop and check out. And again, the visitor center can likely help you access almost anything that is closed. Now we are getting close to Amarillo and going to see the popular Cadillac Ranch. It's a public art installation featuring 10 classic Cadillac cars, and it was completed in the summer of 1974. From the very beginning, visitors have been encouraged to spray paint the cars, and you can buy spray paint on site. It's free and open 24 hours a day. Now we're going to head into Amarillo. Our first stop is the Visitor Center. It's housed in the historic Myers Fried Chicken building. This stop offers maps, art, Route 66 merchandise, and more. Amarillo has the 6th Avenue Historic District. It's about 13 blocks or 1 mile along 6th Avenue. In Route 66 heyday, it was lined with motels, gas stations, cafes, and more. Today, it's a vibrant area full of antique stores, art galleries, boutiques. And finally, we also have to check out the Big Texan Steak Ranch. It has a great motel and is famous for the free 72-ounce steak challenge. A short distance outside of Amarillo is the Patriot Peace Garden. It was built by a local farmer, metal welder, and artist. He started the project as a personal peace park, and it expanded it over the years with help from friends. It's free admission and takes about 20 minutes to explore. Now we're going to head to the town of Groom, Texas to see a couple of free attractions. The first one is the Leaning Tower of Texas. In the early 1980s, a local businessman bought the tower, moved it, and installed it right next to his restaurant on I-40 frontage road. It's free and visible from the highway. Also in Groom is the Cross of our Lord Jesus Christ, a massive 190-foot tall stainless steel cross, one of the tallest in the Western Hemisphere. It was built in 1995. It's also free and open 24 hours a day. There's a handful of other exhibits here. Not often is a rest stop an attraction, but this is Texas after all. The Donley County Rest Area on the south side of Interstate 40 near Allen Reed has a Route 66 themed design. It opened in the spring of 2003. The facility features playful Art Deco architectural style inspired by 1930s Route 66 buildings. It's often praised as one of the nicest and most distinctive rest areas in Texas. And it also has bathrooms. Next is Allen Reed. It's just east of the rest stop and is a semi-ghost town. It was settled in the 1880s along a stagecoach line. Route 66 once ran right through the heart of town. The standout attraction is a restored 1930 service station. It features classic architecture. It's a popular photo stop on Route 66. Once again, I am very impressed with the efforts of the volunteers and people who've taken the time to restore places like this. It adds a lot of value to our Route 66 trips. Now we're going to head to another town that was bypassed when they built Interstate 40 called McLean. Here you can find a Devil's Rope Museum and Texas Route 66 Museum. As mentioned, these are the kinds of places I buy my souvenirs from because it supports the history. It features 700 artifacts, road signs, memorabilia, a recreated cafe, and items like a giant snake. Admission is free, and it's highly recommended for its quirky, informative displays. Also in McLean is the Commercial Historic District. It's on the National Register of Historical Places. It captures the golden area of the highway before the interstate bypassed the town. And there's the restored 1929 Phillips 66 Cottage gas station. It's one of the most photogenic and well-maintained Route 66 gas stations in Texas. A must-stop for photos. And our last stop in Texas is also one of the more popular stops, the town of Shamrock. The main attraction is the Tower Station and You Drop In Cafe, an iconic 1936 Art Deco landmark, built as a Conoco gas station with a towering spine and attached cafe. It also inspired Ramon's House of Body Art and Pixar's Car movie. It now serves as the Shamrock Visitor Information Center with a gift shop and more. And the neon signs are stunning at night. In town is also the Pioneer West Museum Complex. This complex includes the restored Magnolia gas station from 1929. There are other buildings here and more artifacts inside the museum. Texas is a short but fun part of Route 66. Now we are about to enter Oklahoma, just east of here. Route 66 in Oklahoma is the longest drivable stretch of the historic Mother Road in the U.S., with over 400 miles. Texola is a border town and feels frozen in time. It's quiet and there's crumbling buildings. It's not touristy like other places, but it's perfect for photographers and history buffs. The Texola one-room jail is a tiny historic cinder block jail from the late 1800s with iron bars. Our next stop is Eric, Oklahoma. Route 66 goes right through town. Sandhill's Curiosity Shop is a quirky roadside landmark filled with Route 66 memorabilia, antiques, and eclectic collections. There is a small park downtown that has a trailer and lyrics to King of the Road by Roger Miller, who was from Eric. There's also some funny signs. The town has a museum, and one of the more unique attractions is Sam's Town, a unique must-visit roadside attraction and art installation, and it appears to be a campground as well. Now we're going to head to the National Route 66 and Transportation Museum in Elk City, part of the Elk City Museum Complex. The standout highlight is to walk through all 8 Route 66 states with realistic murals, vignettes, audio stories, antique cars, and more. This place is incredible. It's one of the most comprehensive Route 66 museums. Now we're going to head to the nearby city of Clinton, Oklahoma, to visit the Oklahoma Route 66 Museum. This is the official state-operated Route 66 museum run by the Oklahoma Historical Society. It offers an immersive walk through the highway's history from 1926 to 1985. It's got themed galleries, vintage cars, a 1950s dinner exhibit, and more. Now we're going to head to Weatherford. The first stop is the Heartland of America Museum. It's 2,000 square feet of exhibits on western Oklahoma life, including cars and Route 66 artifacts. The Stafford Air and Space Museum is a world-class Smithsonian-affiliated museum honoring hometown hero Lieutenant General Thomas P. Stafford. There's a handful of exhibits right in the parking lot. Downtown is pretty interesting. There's a 30-foot astronaut statue. It features NASA and Route 66 logos. Just east of Weatherford is Lucille's historic highway gas station. It was built in 1929, and it has a rare two-story design. There's some vintage red gas pumps out front and some former motel rooms. They've also recently added a truck. El Reno is our next stop. I wanted to check out the Canadian County Historical Museum, but it was too late. It was closed. It's housed in the restored 1908 Rock Island Depot and features Route 66 memorabilia, local history, a barn, schoolhouse, and more. Downtown El Reno is amazing. There's lots of murals and restored buildings with Route 66 themes. Oklahoma City is one of the largest cities on the route. The first thing I wanted to see was the Milk Bottle Grocery. It's near downtown. The iconic 1930s wedge-shaped building topped with a giant milk bottle. I also fancy the Uptown District. Route 66 passed right through here. My favorite part of Oklahoma City was finally visiting the Oklahoma City National Memorial and Museum, a powerful tribute to the 1995 bombing. It's got an outdoor memorial and features field of empty chairs, gates of time, and a reflecting pool. I also checked out the Railroad Museum. It's got a bunch of vintage locomotives, including steam engines, freight cars, passenger coaches, and more. And they also offer train rides during tourist season. The Arcadia Round Barn is one of the most iconic and photogenic landmarks on Route 66 in Oklahoma. And it's the only round barn directly on the Mother Road. It's open daily from 10 to 5 p.m. and admission is free. It was built in 1898 and restored in the 1990s. A standout historic Route 66 gas station right near Arcadia is the abandoned old Route 66 filling station, also known as the Lawless gas station ruins. It was built around 1915 as a limestone rock Conoco station. During the Great Depression, the station reportedly had a secret room where counterfeit $10 bills were printed. The operators were caught and it led to its abandonment. Chandler, Oklahoma is a charming small town with well-preserved sandstone brick buildings, classic motels, and strong Route 66 heritage. The first place I visited was this abandoned gas station at the edge of town. They added this car since the last time I was here. There is also a beautifully restored early 1930s house-type Phillips 66 station. The Route 66 Interpretive Center is also in town. My favorite spot was at the bowling alley, seeing all these vintage signs restored in the parking lot. The next town is Stroud. This is a replica white marker from the pre-Route 66 Ozark Trail. Rock Cafe is the crown jewel of this town. It opened in 1939, and it's on the National Register of Historical Places. It's still open as a gift shop and cafe. Now we're going to head to Bristow, Oklahoma. The Chrysler Tower Plaza has the tallest freestanding neon sign on Route 66, a 1949 landmark from the Beard Motor Company. It just opened in April 2026. I also checked out the Bristol Historical Museum and Train Depot. It's housed in a beautifully restored 1923 Frisco depot. It features local history, railroad artifacts, Route 66 exhibits, and more. Sapulpa, Oklahoma is a gem. Rock Creek Bridge is a historic steel truss bridge on the original 1926 alignment. It's scenic and photogenic, with brick paving remnants. It's one of the best preserved early Route 66 bridges in Oklahoma. They also have a gorgeous downtown, which includes a Route 66 Christmas shoot. And nearby, there's a restored Gulf gas station. Even the back alleys in this town are so clean. And this free public park for kids looks like a theme park. But you also got to check out the Heart of Route 66 Auto Museum. It has a large collection of vintage cars and Route 66 memorabilia. Tulsa, Oklahoma proudly calls itself the capital of Route 66. It offers over 28 miles of the historic highway. My first stop was the Route 66 Historical Village. It's an open-air museum with historical buildings, trains, cars, and artifacts. Next, I checked out one of the most impressive 3 blocks on the entire trip, the Meadow Gold District. There is the Meadow Gold Sign Plaza, an iconic restored 1930s neon sign. It's a photogenic classic on the route. There is also Buck Adams' Cosmic Curious on 66. It's a fun retro shop in a former gas station with a giant 21-foot Muffler Man statue. There's lots of shops here with souvenirs, toys, and photo ops. Tulsa has such a great Route 66 vibe. I just love the city. I tried to visit the Blue Well of Catoosa in Catoosa, Oklahoma, but it was closed for renovations. I'm not sure what this place will look like, but it's completely different. When it's done, it's going to be great. But here's what the well looks like now. Now we're going to check out the Highway Cafe in Vinita, Oklahoma. It's a beloved family-owned classic diner right on Route 66. It's about 2 miles west of town. It opened in 1963, and it has the restored iconic neon sign. There's also a 1963 AMC Rumbler out front. And the newly renovated Western Motel. This spot delivers authentic Route 66 nostalgia. Vinita is the oldest town on Oklahoma's stretch of Route 66. While I was visiting, I noticed they are building a new visitor center. It's in an old gas station and it's probably in operation by now. It looks great. The historic district in downtown is a walkable area with brick buildings, murals, antique shops, and a center theater marquee. It's great for strolling and soaking in the small town vibes. Before you get to Miami, Oklahoma, you got to check out the Ribbon Road. It's one of the most unique and historic surviving remnants of Route 66 at Oklahoma, and the only remaining 9-foot wide section of the entire Mother Road. It was built in 1921-22 as part of a federal highway project. It's only a couple miles long. Miami, Oklahoma has the longest main street on Route 66, and it's glorious. Drive or walk the full stretch, lined with historical buildings, murals, shops, and neon signs. The Coleman Theater is the crown jewel, a stunning 1929 Spanish colonial revival theater built by mining magnate George Coleman. It's fully restored and still hosts shows, tours, and events. The Route 66 gift shop and visitor center is right here. Wayland's Cuckoo Burger is also pretty neat. It's the last surviving location of the once popular 1960s burger food chain. And I went out and shot some neon signs. Miami is pretty close to being the neon capital of Route 66. There's a lot of these signs. And finally, our last stop in Oklahoma is Commerce. Allen's Conoco Filling Station, also known as the Hole-in-the-Wall Conoco, is a tiny 1929 station built into a brick wall on Main Street. It has restored vintage pumps. And right across the street is Dairy King, housed in a charming 1920s cottage-style former Marathon gas station. They serve ice cream, shakes, and Route 66 shaped cookies. Now we're going to head into Kansas. Route 66 in Kansas is the shortest stretch of the Mother Road in any state, at just about 13 miles. Our first stop is Baxter Springs. This was originally built in 1930 as the Baxter Springs Independent Oil and Gas Service Station. It later became a Phillips 66 station and operated for about 40 years. It is now the Kansas Route 66 Visitor Center with a grand opening in 2007. Baxter Springs is the largest town on Route 66, founded in 1849 by John Baxter. This was built around 2015 as a modern business in a building designed to evoke the classic roadside Americana. The museum has one of the most extensive Civil War exhibits in the region, centered on the Baxter Springs Massacre of October 6, 1863. Main Street also has a lot of stores, including this former bank. The signs for Route 66 in Kansas are clearly marked. Now we're going to head about 3 miles north to the Rainbow Bridge. It was built in 1923. And it's the only remaining March arc bridge on the entire original Route 66. And as you can see, it's been recently restored, and it looks great. Our next stop is Galena, Kansas. In town, there's a well-preserved 1.2-mile historic district featuring the original roadbed, concrete culverts, and a viaduct. Many of the buildings have been restored, including this gas station. During tourist season, this place is open. Galena once had a population of 30,000 people during the mining days. The restored Canotech service station, now called Cars on the Route, features a real 1951 International boom truck that inspired the character Tow Mater in Disney Pixar's movie called Cars. Luigi's Pit Stop is a fun, free roadside attraction directly inspired by Pixar's Cars movie. It's a must stop for fans along Kansas Route 66 stretch. However, it is a newer attraction. Now we're going to head to Missouri. Our first stop in Missouri is Joplin. This city has all the services. Route 66 in the state stretches approximately 317 miles. And Route 66 is clearly marked throughout the state. Most of the alignment parallels I-44. In Joplin, the Route 66 mural park near City Hall features vibrant murals, including a 3D red Corvette for photo ops. Joplin is mentioned in the iconic song, Get Your Kicks on Route 66. There are numerous cultural attractions in Joplin, and you can even stay in the famous Bonnie and Clyde hideout here. From here, Route 66 to Carthage, Missouri is mostly residential, but still pleasant. Just before Carthage is the 66 Drive-In Theater that opened in 1949. This is one of the few historically intact, still operating drive-ins along the entire Mother Road. Carthage is called America's Maple Leaf City and sits at the junction of Old Route 66 and other historical routes like the Jefferson Highway. At the Visitor Center is the Boots Court Motel, a beautifully preserved 1939 streamlined modern motel, one of the oldest operating on Route 66. It features a big neon sign and radios in every room, and once hosted celebrities like Clark Gable. I actually spent the night here. The neon signs are truly amazing. Just outside of Carthage is Red Oak 2, a unique, privately owned, recreated historic village and art installation. It's a short detour off Route 66. It's one of the most charming and photogenic hidden gems along the Mother Road. Artist Lowell Davis, an internationally known Missouri folk artist famous for his paintings and figurines of rural life, created this town as a labor of love. It is free to visit, but I dropped $10 in the donation box. There are still a couple people who live in town, which I found surprising. Now we're going to head to our next destination, Spencer Station. There is a 4-mile stretch of original 1926 alignment of Route 66, and it's one of the most authentic early stops along Route 66 in the state. The complex was built in 1926 and finished in 1927. The town thrived from the 20s to the 50s, but was bypassed by realignment of Route 66. It has recently been bought and restored and currently serving as a gift shop. Staying on the old Route 66 alignment towards Springfield, we come across another gem called Gay Parida. I got here 3 minutes before a bad storm, so my visit was quick. It was built in 1930 by Fred and Gay Mason. In the mid-2000s, a passionate Route 66 enthusiast, Gary Turner, rebuilt it as a near-exact replica. Gary dedicated decades to preserving Route 66 history and welcoming travelers. Now we're going to head to Springfield, proudly known as the official birthplace of Route 66. In April of 1926, 2 businessmen proposed naming the Chicago to Los Angeles Highway US 66 in a telegram. The name was approved later that year, in November. My first stop was at the Route 66 Car Museum. It features 70-plus classic cars. It's a must-see for car enthusiasts. I also stopped at the Route 66 Springfield Visitor Center. It's a great starting point with maps, brochures, and souvenirs. It's located downtown near the historical square. My favorite place in Springfield was actually the downtown square. Route 66 used to pass through here. I regret that I came here on the day that the local history museum was closed. I really wanted to see this. Next is Lebanon. This town proudly calls itself the heart of Route 66 and offers about 37 miles of historic alignments to the area. The Munger Moss Motel is one of the most iconic stops in the entire road. It was originally a restaurant and barbecue spot. It also became a motel in 1946 and is still in operation. I also stopped at the County Route 66 Museum. It was Missouri's first permanent Route 66 museum. It features full-scale recreations of 1950s gas station, classic diner, and a motel cabin. Admission is free and it's open most days. An exciting attraction is our next stop, St. Thomas, the Route 66 Neon Park. It opened in May 2025. This free open-air museum features restored vintage neon signs rescued from across Missouri. And the signs do light up at night. It's one of only 2 remaining historic Route 66 roadside parks in the state. Now we're going to visit Route 66 Mural City, Cuba. It is a charming Ozarks town, and I'm surprised by how affordable it is to live here and in nearby places in one of the prettiest spots in all of Route 66. The whole area from Lebanon to St. Louis on Route 66 is a very busy area with lots of traffic and tourists. Cuba also has the Wagon Wheel Motel, the oldest continuously operating motel on the entire Route 66, opening in 1936. It is listed on the National Register of Historical Places and is a favorite for road trippers. Just southwest of St. Louis is the city of Pacific. Route 66 passed right through the heart of town. I wish I had spent more time in this area, but I lost a couple days on this trip to rain, so I had to rush through the Ozarks. The Red Cedar Inn was built in 1934 as a restaurant serving fried chicken. It operated until 2005, and it reopened recently as a free museum, visitor center, and gift shop. It features exhibits on Route 66 history. Another interesting place to visit is the Route 66 State Park Visitor Center. The Visitor Center is housed in the historic Bridgehead Inn, a 1935 roadhouse that once served travelers on the original alignment of Route 66. There is also a neon sign kind of hidden on the side of the building. There is also a large park on the other side of the river, but the bridge is gone, so you'll have to get back onto the interstate to visit the park. St. Louis will be our next stop, one of the largest cities on Route 66. I also came across the historic Route 66 photo deck. It's a small, dedicated viewing platform built specifically for travelers and photographers to get great shots of the historic railroad trestle. Unfortunately, I missed the Neon Museum, and the National Museum of Transportation was closed, but I'll have to do that next time. Our last stop in Missouri is also going to be the first stop in Illinois, the old Chain of Rocks Bridge. I entered from Illinois. It is about 1 mile to walk across the bridge with Missouri on one side and Illinois on the other. It was built in 1929 as a toll bridge. It became part of Route 66 in 1936 as a bypass alignment to avoid downtown St. Louis. It's famous for its dramatic 30-degree bend in the middle. It closed in 1970 and then was restored and reopened in 1999 as a pedestrian and bicycle bridge. Now we're going to head into Illinois. Route 66 in Illinois runs approximately 301 miles. Our first stop is Litchfield, home of the Litchfield Museum and Route 66 Welcome Center. It's housed in a former gas station. This free museum covers local history, Route 66 lore, railroad, and more. There's great photo ops with a neon sign and Route 66 shield. There's friendly volunteers and souvenirs available. Right across the street is the Artisan Cafe, one of the oldest continuously operating restaurants on Route 66. It was founded in 1924 and moved to its current location in 1935. It's on the National Register of Historic Places. The next location is really special, the Illinois Brick Road Curve, also known as the Auburn Brick Road. It's approximately 1.4 miles of hand-laid red brick pavement. It was built in 1931 over an earlier concrete roadbed. This place is also listed on the National Register of Historic Places. Now we're going to head to the city of Springfield. I just read that this city is experiencing a real estate boom, and I can see why. It's quite remarkable. Of all the places to visit, I chose the Lincoln Home National Historic Site. It preserves the only home Abraham Lincoln ever owned. It's a must-visit for anyone exploring Route 66 in Springfield. It's a restored 4-block 1860s neighborhood with 14 historic structures, sidewalks, fences, and outbuildings. It gives a strong sense of mid-19th century Springfield life. I consider this to be one of the most impressive 4 blocks I've ever explored. It's better in person than what I can show you on video. Lincoln and his wife and their family lived here from 1844 until 1861. Next is Williamsville. It's a quiet but enthusiastic stop that has actively embraced its Mother Road heritage. The key attraction is Frank's Old Station. It's a beautifully preserved 1930 service station, originally a Texaco. It features vintage gas pumps, classic signage, including a large Route 66 shield. There's also cars and memorabilia. It's a popular photo stop and work in progress restoration project that captures classic roadside Americana. Atlanta is our next stop, and this place is very popular with Route 66 enthusiasts. The Mother Road passes right through the heart of town, which is a gem all by itself. The Bunyan statue is a 19-foot tall fiberglass giant holding a giant hot dog. It was moved here in 2003. The American Giants Museum is amazing. It opened in 2023. It houses the largest collection of mufflermen. I really like this setup. The town also has other attractions like a museum, grain elevator, and a park. Just a short drive away is McLean. It has the Arcade Museum. It's a fantastic, nostalgic stop right on the historic 1926 alignment of Route 66. It's one of the most family-friendly attractions in town. They also have the McLean Depot train shop, a historic 1850s depot. There's also a welcome center here. A very unique Route 66 attraction can be found in Towanda, Illinois, Dead Man's Curve, the most famous or infamous landmark, a sharp, narrow curve on the original alignment. It earned its nickname from frequent accidents. The standout attraction here is the 2.5-mile pedestrian path. It's on the abandoned 1950s southbound lanes of Route 66. It was created by local high school students and volunteers as a community project. Now we're going to head to Lexington. The town has a lot of unique attractions, including Memory Lane as you enter town. The one thing that caught my eye was the American Standard Elephant, a fun, recently added pink gray fiberglass elephant. It's a quirky favorite for travelers. Dwight, Illinois proudly calls itself home to the first traffic light south of Chicago on the Mother Road. The main attraction here is Ambler's Texaco Station. It was built in 1933 and operated continuously until 1999, the longest running gas station on the entire Route 66. It was restored to its 1940s appearance and now serves as the Dwight Route 66 Visitor Center. It's a must stop for photos and to get your stamps in your Route 66 passport. Gardner, Illinois sits on multiple alignments of the Mother Road and offers a compact but rewarding cluster of quirky photogenic attractions, including this two-cell jail opened in 1906. It operated until the 1950s. You can go inside. It's now a fun, free photo op. Right next door is a real 20th century horse-drawn streetcar. It was moved here in 1932 and operated as a diner. This building is a Route 66 Hall of Fame inductee. You can also view the mural inside through the windows. Next, we're going to Wilmington. It's best known for its iconic roadside giant and charming downtown. This is the Gemini Giant. It's about a 30-foot tall fiberglass muffler man, and it's an astronaut holding a rocket, originally installed in 1965. After the restaurant closed, the statue was carefully restored and moved to its new permanent home. Now we're going to head to the historic city of Joliet. A must-see place is the old Joliet prison, which operated from 1858 until 2002. It's now open for self-guided and guided tours. I heard this is a great place to visit for Halloween. As cool as that place is, my favorite place to visit was downtown. The Rialto Square Theater is a stunning 1926 palace theater which is still in operation and tours are available. This is such a stunning building. All of downtown of this city is amazing. What I really wanted to visit was the Illinois Rock and Roll Museum on Route 66, but it was closed while I was here, so I'll have to come back. Chicago, Illinois is the official eastern starting or end point of historic Route 66. This was my first ever visit to Chicago, and it was exactly as expected, but with a lot more excitement than I imagined. What a glorious city. Parking in a parking garage downtown, though, is pretty expensive. Route 66 goes right through the heart of downtown. Before heading to the official beginning point of Route 66, I just walked around for a while. In Millennium Park is Cloud Gate, popularly known as the Bean. It's the iconic centerpiece of the park and one of Chicago's most photographed landmarks. There was a lot of people in the park, including lots of families and tourists. It's fascinating and even better in person. I was stunned about how clean and fun downtown Chicago is. There is more people in this park than live in my town of Shaunavon, Saskatchewan. Nearby is the Art Institute of Chicago. Right across the street, look for the prominent Begin Route 66 shield sign. This has been the most photographed starting point for decades. This was the official beginning point for Route 66, but I understand that just about the time I was here, the city moved the official point a little further away to the pier. But to most people, this will always be the starting point. My trip across Route 66 was a blast. I wish I could have fit more stuff into this video, as there were a ton more places I could have added. Next time, I'm going to spend a whole day in Chicago. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know in the comments section below. And thank you so much for watching. I'm deeply grateful for all you folks that enjoy my video. Until next time.